Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Basileía Romaíon, the wacky big conversion mod for EU5 that has crazy kooky things like a still going on Greek Roman Empire, a still standing Caliphate of Al-Andalus, France included as part of the HRE, Blue Novgorod, Green Egypt, and Roman colonies in the New World. Specifically two. One, a Latin Hellenist, the other a Eastern Roman orthodoxy. Both have, I believe, a similar path of formables, Allesianism, and conquering the New World and bringing it to Rome's heel. Roughly, the story of them is at the fall of the Western Roman Empire. They split from Hispania and fled to the New World looking for, I don't know, maybe they were aiming for the Azores and missed or something. But we are not alone in the New World. No, of course. Like any good alt history mod, there are the Iroquois right nearby and the good old reliable Finlandic colonies. If this looks similar to Third Odyssey, don't worry, it's giving me flashbacks too, but this is an entirely unique concept specific to the Basileía Romaíon mod that comes from Victoria 3, and this is a backdated version of it into EU5. Speaking of which, take it away, Editor Brown Dog 2. Yes, hello ladies and gentlemen, Editor Brown Dog 2 here, just to quickly cut in. First things first, I am streaming on Twitch from 2 to 7 p.m. at GMT. That's UK time or London time, so come on and check out the stream whenever you want. As well, this mod is Basileía Romaíon. I'm also running Glorp UI and Faster Universalis. All their links should be in the pinned comment in the description below. Also, we are on a march to 1,000 subs. The goal is to hit it by November. There was a massive turnout. We're up about 780 last I checked. I want to thank you all very much for that. It means the world. And while you're going on down to subscribe, if you could hit the like button and leave a comment, I'd appreciate that greatly too. Thank you very much all. I hope you enjoy the episode. Man, I sure am awesome. Isn't he great? Don't you like listening to my plugs? Anyway, without further ado, let's jump right into the Hellenic Roman refugees because I'm nothing if not a Romaboo. Allesium event 0.3 desk, of course. What do we actually have going for us? We immediately have bureaucracy. Okay, interesting. How much of the tech tree do we have? That's important for me to know. A surprising amount. We actually have some unique techs going on in there. Cool. With, whoa, monthly development? That's insane. Population growth? Okay, both immediately pick those up. And whatever is going on over here. Do we have any events? No. You want flavor in your video game? Do we have any formables? Oh, okay. We can form either Allesium or the Imperium, which I imagine is... It's Rome, USA, LARP. Let's call it what it is. We are surrounded by natives and the Orthodox. Okay. What culturally are we? We are Elysianti, and there are our Greek brothers, the Elysianoi. They speak Greek, we speak Latin. For bureaucracy, we can put on a cabinet seat and get a number of local governors. Oh, we're broken. Oh, okay, cool. Give me the Kefati. Make sure I can afford it. Probably should have waited on that, but it's fine. Actually, oh, we also have the capital of the market. We are stronger than our neighbors in general. So I will rival the nearby indigenous folks for easy conquest. For gov reforms, we start with New World Colony, which means that we can have better pop growth, more gov reforms, and can get explorers. We also start with the Senatus Populus Elysianus, means we are... The authority of the Elysian state is vested in the Senate of the people, united under ancient forms, preserved and adapted across generations. Though guided by tradition, this order affects a distinctly Elysian character, balancing senatorial authority, civic identity. Okay, so we have a Senate. That's all that really matters. My commoners, they start with frontier homestead privilege, which means that we can have slaves. How much trade do we actually do? Free trade, but not a good amount of anything. Let's also start by building a spy network in this indigenous folks around us, and we will almost certainly conquer soon. Our goal is to build up, control, and take over at least the nations around us, if not the entire Eastern Seaboard. Anyway, if something interesting happens, I'll let you know. Economically, we kind of start with nothing great. We have fruit, wheat, wine, and lumber. There is some iron to our north. Can we afford to colonize up there? Yes, okay. Because the sooner we can get the iron, the sooner we can get like a tool economy kickstarted. But yeah, we really don't have too much, and unsurprisingly, the only towns have been brought by us or the Iroquois. Actually, I just realized the Kefalali are probably completely useless until I get a city, because the number of local governors plus one doesn't matter, because I can't build a local governor. I just saw it and built it by instinct, but almost certainly not worth it, and it's just draining my bank account until I can either get rid of it. Oh, nice. I was just going to justify on the Piscataway, and we have claims near our capital, which is very nice. I imagine then, do you have claims too? Yeah, makes sense. What are you then? Odessos. You're Hellenic. Are you Hellenic Greeks? Demographics. Hellenist. Illyrics. Yeah, you're Hellenic Greeks. Interesting. Okay, so there was a third option, a much harder option actually. Wait, do you have any cores? No, you're just screwed. Okay. Well, we're gonna go and steal that before they can. Create a CB for my claims on the Piscataway for my land, please and thank you. Give me back my guy. The Northmen have reached out, so we can now see at least some of the Maritimes. Which of you are actually Norse? Okay. It's only the Vinland and its sister colony. Beautiful, and our justification is finished, so we can go on in against the Piscataway, who have allied with the Netnogo. They will both fall beneath Roman steel. Make him a CB or a co-belligerent just for fun. Raise up my Roman levies, and let's get to work, lads. Everybody march south. The fact that we have forts or a town at all kind of makes us overpowered, just because it gives us the advantage when it comes to production. Also, we have more population. We're doing good. We're taking this more for the land than we are the people. We will Romanize the people. Just like that. Yep, it's already over. Alright, from Netego, we're going to take all their land and their money. And the same for Piscataway. Thank you very much. This land is already integrated, although I do need to choose out new rivals. Again, we're going south to try and cut off the Allesians from as much as possible. And my next step will probably be this little one location minor, and then we'll clean up more of the indigenous groups. Well, these two are allied together. That would be a really efficient war goal. We'll probably do that then. Okay, and just like that, we've made it to the age of the Renaissance. What do I want to do here? I'm thinking admin focus, because empiricism is good for the literacy, and we're going to need all the help we can get with tech speed, local infrastructure for the proximity efficiency, and Deus Vault for the religious war CB. Nothing else here is going to scratch how useful that would be. And technically we have access to most of it through this tree. So you're going to notice for a while that our economy essentially doesn't grow because it's just so slow to feed back into it, right? We only make half a ducat a month, a little bit less, depending on the month, if it's a good month, even. And every time I click it, I'm immediately going to put it into the RGOs that are immediately around us that we can get the value back out of. Or build up the castle to give me more crown power, but, like, with how spread out we are and how, like, wide-ranging the population is, the nobility are going to go crazy with power. You're already seeing them. They take up, like, 50% of the estate power. Yeah, so... And that's going to ruin my ability to tax them. Mind you, I gave them some privileges. I gave them a fair few privileges, but it's only because when I take away their... Well, land rights is going to be hard to justify taking away in a game like this, because there's always going to be new RGOs that they can colonize for me. I'm sorry, the colony of where? The colony of the Laurentian Passis, which are my iron provinces. Fantastic. And our ability to push control up there is not 0, but I wouldn't want to push it too much further. And we're going in just for a quick war on Illyriquaza? Illyriquaza? I don't know, man. It's a one location minor. Does it really matter if I get their name right? They didn't actually raise levies to stop me from taking their land. Clearly, welcome back to the Republic. They are a lyric, which is an Allesian Padawan mix that speaks Greek. We accept this? Yeah, okay. Well, you know, they're half Roman, so I really can't fault them for that. And now we can go in on Doeg and Akawamaki, I believe. I'm butchering all of these, I know. And just clean up, I believe these are the last of our cores that we have floating around, and then we actually have to start pushing against nations that might push back a little bit. And from the First Nations on the Delaware Peninsula, we're going to take all their land and money, and we're going to clean up what was left of the Potomac land, or the Doeg land, I should say. Beautiful. And just like that, we have almost united Chesapeake Bay. There's just one teeny little Roman in the way. So, two problems with the colonization that I'm doing. One, none of this land is going to be core because it's all majority non-Elysian, right? As we move through here, it's not like we're getting rid of the Monacan people, we're just moving them into our lands. I suppose when European contact happens, that will be dealt with, but it's still unfortunate. Actually, I wonder, we'll probably get rolled over by the Great Pestilence too. I don't know how long we've been here or if it's disabled because we're here, so if we do get to the point where Europeans are coming over, that's going to be an issue. The second thing is, because of it not getting cored, my control here is going to be even worse than I thought because we don't get the core bonus, so it's instead of being a minimum of 20, we're getting like a minimum of 10, not even. Yeah, so very important that we get out there and convince everybody to be good Hellenic Romans. Okay, so we are going to strike out against the Rappahannock people with a make tributary CB. I have no idea if this actually lets us take land. It looks like it will. Fantastic. I was kind of justifying that on a whim because I don't have the Deus Vault CB yet. And with our parliament, I need you to fabricate a CB on Alisteria for the Chesapeake Bay. Please and thank you. We are going to give those rabble-rousers what they ask for, which is freedom and the right to practice what they believe in under Roman observation. Ah, no, dang it. Okay, so the war does block me from actually conquering them. That's really annoying. What does making them a tributary do? Gives me, like, a paltry part of their money. Why do I don't want this, then. They only pay 2% of their economic base, and their economic base is essentially 0. Cool. Just give me your money, humiliate, and release all my slaves and give me war reps. Get out of here. And same for you. Money, slaves, war reps. Oh well, not the end of the world. We can now put our levies down and immediately go in against Illysteria for Parliament-approved claims on provinces once the game realizes we don't have any levies. Then, before we click the funny button, we go to our clergy, who love us, and get extra clergy levies, because of course they can. Give it a tick or two to register. Now that we have 4,000 levies, we raise everybody up. And we go and give the fellas in the south a good ass-kicking. Now, we do have to be careful not to walk into their forces head first, at least not without any morale, but otherwise we should be fine. I'm imagining they're going to be standing on Iarus, which is why we're going to march straight in there, nice and balanced. We outnumber them, so this should be a pretty clean fight. Yep, there they go. And with it, their hopes of not being under the Roman jackboot. Eros has fallen. As such, our rivals fall with it. They give us 20 ducats in all their land. We, of course, will dissolve the Patriarchate because we don't believe in that stuff. Something I want to make sure I do is accept the Elysianoi because, after all, they are Roman. Despite us having our religious differences, they are our equal. What? 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 How? What? No, that's just malaria. We have the Black Death, though. Yeah, we sure do. Okay, and we cannot take any of the steps against it that we normally would. So I guess this is their solution to the pestilence. I wonder maybe if we got it through going around north. But yeah, all right. Goodbye, population. We have 370,000. Let's see how bad it is when it ends. That's really unfortunate. So we go in for the first time. Alrighty, and for real this time, we're going to take all of the land from the Tensacomac, as well as all of the land from the Rapinoak. I'm really sorry. I'm trying, and it's not working out. We're also going to rival the lads to our north, disband our levies. I'm going to go over to my clergy and ask for spare levy, not my nobility, sorry. To my clergy and ask for spare levies. Can I ask for that twice? Can I go to, like, my... No, okay. And on the month tick, we will deck. We have 3,600. They have less than that, so we should be able to sweep them, call up everybody, and instead of you coring or increasing dev, start coring things, we need to bring everybody to heal. And now that the war is declared, we are going to call an emergency parliament to fabricate a CB on the folks in Maryland. Or sorry. No, New Jersey. I'm sorry, New Jersey's such an awful thing to think about. I blocked out from my mind that it existed. All I know of New Jersey is that Newark Airport is there, so I can leave faster. Yeah, our Roman levies blow them out the water. And we do want to make a point of going around and sieging everything down so we can take as many slaves as possible. That sounds so bad to say, but it's true. We need them for the sweet, sweet RGOs. 3,000 against 1,000. It's not even a question. We roll over them. There's only 500 left by the time we're done. See, we're kind. We're benevolent. We let some of you live. That is the Roman way. Gorgeous it is. From the Monsi people, we will take everything and their money. And then we march back down south. From the Wanami people, we will do the same. We go in against the Winalachko. Very politely requests that they hand over their ancestral land so we can burn New Jersey to the ground. Ooh, that one might actually get close, but we win in the end no matter what. That was only close because I didn't bother grouping them up before the fight happened. Beautiful, everybody. Cool, and we will take this land, burn it all down, and build something better than Jersey Shore. I do have to stop our rampant colonization, though, because it seems like for a minute we've kind of hit the limit of our control. Once I actually have a proper navy, I will be a monster pushing control down the Eastern Seaboard. But until then, it's very limited. Now, there is one other thing that I don't know. When we are doing colonization, I know that the game pops from your cores and throws it out there. I just don't know if it does it like tile by tile or if it takes it evenly. Because my capital started at the high 20,000s and is down to 12,000. I imagine it's taken a lot for my capital, but that could have also been the Black Death that killed 100,000 some of my pops. So I'm kind of up in the airs on how hard I should go colonizing. But I imagine the more colonizing I do, the better I will get for more pops. In fact, I should probably be throwing down settlements too. Another thing I have to be very careful of, though, with settlements and with actually playing in the New World, is market access, because market access falls off very quickly over these very large provinces. So I need to make sure that I have a lot of markets and the location capacity to match them, such as having towns and cities that can actually supply them. So I can get what I need to and build up the different markets, instead of just having massive cornfields. Also, if we're lucky, eventually, hopefully, we'll find some gold so that I can build up some of the nicer buildings and get some free crown power out of it.
So a problem I'm running into is because of my rampant colonization, right? You can see I'm basically all the way down to the Carolinas, and I'm almost up into, well, I'm up in New York State. Well, that's New York. This is some of the tiny ones that nobody cares about. Rhode Island is somewhere here. There's Connecticut. I don't know, man. These states in New England don't matter. But because I've basically been colonizing all over the place, I've massively depopulated my capital. I think it's fine, because if I look at my demographics, I have a 1.2% pop growth, which is an insane amount of pop growth. And if I get even more cheap food there with granaries, we should be just swimming in it. Kind of unfortunate that I basically have depopulated the capital, compared to if we look at the Orthodox capital, they still have 20,000 pops as opposed to 11,000. Just keep an eye on this and understand that it's going to just get worse. Hey, and it's possibly the best event to get early on, it's possibly the best parliament debate to get early on in the game. Promote urbanization. We'll be able to get our third town down in a decent location. It's something I was planning on urbanizing. Pratham, we're also going to start justifying on Wapanak. And we're also going to go and do some cultural exchange with the Wapanak. So let's call up the men to go and encourage a nice, in-depth, rigorously tested cultural exchange. And we do a quick little run over them. Yep. Come on. Nice and easy. Beautiful. And let's go and visit their beautiful capital and see if we can't Romanify it a bit. Beautiful place you guys got here. I think we'll take it for ourselves. Thank you very much. Have a good life. And we can also go and do a cultural exchange down south with Kusabo. And without actually fighting a battle, we're just going to piece them out, take their land, send them on their way. And again, we're without neighbors. We do have the Haudenosaunee just to our north. But they have a confederation. So if I deck into that, it's a much bigger war than it looks like. There's a bunch of unlanded pops, and I don't want to deal with it yet. I'm really glad that we have this stupid amount of pop growth, because it is the only thing really kind of keeping us going. Hey, and we have finally colonized enough. I kind of got off track there, but we can finally colonize enough to form Allesium, which needed mostly the core of like the 13 colonies, more or less. But we can form Allesium, which does what I don't know. We will become a kingdom instead of just a duchy. We get a nice deep red color, and we get the Birth of Allesium event. For generations, our scattered settlements survived as fragments of an exile Latin and Greek, pantheonic and Christian. Divided by creed and custom, yet the old dream endured, that one day the heirs of the first voyagers would rise above their fracturing past and forge a true homeland in this new world. Now that day has come, with our people united and our rivals humbled, the ancient name, spoken by the first colonists, Allesium, can finally be claimed. The sacred texts speak of Allesium as a land whence heroes dwell in peace, a realm beyond memory and loss. Here, on the shores of our adopted world, we shall make that myth real. With our new capital shall be moved to the Illyric settlement of Dyropia, standing as a bridge between the lands of Elysiantini to the north and the Elysianoi to the south. Oh, cool. So we have our capital moved to where? Here. Okay. We become Elysium primary culture. This becomes our new capital. A bunch of people migrate there. We get some crown power and pop assimilation speed. The area gets development and gets upgraded to a city, which is amazing. Or we could keep our capital where it is currently, and this location will start to make silk. I think I need the city, because a city is really good. And it still makes silk anyway. Fantastic. All right. And it's centered, but as centered as you can get. Do we have a decent port nearby? I guess that's the only downside. It's 2 steps up to a port, so that's a little bit of a shame, but otherwise we're really good. And we'll have to actually build Elysium up to be a town, or to be something, because it currently is empty. Cool. And the market capital stayed where it is, of course. Okay, I also think that all of our cultures just got unified into being Elysian, which are speaking predominantly Latin. Yeah, we just became one big Elysian blob. Cool. with the Illyrics, which are the kind of half-integrated indigenous cultures. Okay, and did our religion get fixed? Kinda. I really can't tell, is the honest answer. Man, I was really hoping that, like, West Virginia had just a single province of gold, but turns out there's nothing but coal in those shitty mountains. Okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to explore into Tennessee. Maybe, I really remember there being just a little bit of gold in the Appalachians, I just can't remember where. And as you can see, we almost have finally integrated everything that we very slowly conquered all that time ago. I don't really know exactly how long it's been, but we're actually starting to get control, if not like literal proximity control, integration level control over most of our territories. There's just so much land. Well, we've just sailed past 1,000,000 pops, though again, not too much is going on. I'm not sure how long I will let just nothing ever happen. Obviously, it's going to be quiet till the Europeans show up, and we have at least 100 years till they discover the new world, and probably like 150 until they actually lay down a meaningful colony. So if I've done this in the first 70 years since game start, by the time they show up, I should basically be the continental United States. Oh, interesting. I just saw that the Norse do in fact have professional armies spreading to them, but they don't have the Renaissance or banking yet. So that does mean that there is a connection to the New World through Greenland. There's no other way they could be getting that. There's got to be some amount of trading happening through the Northern Channel, though. So that's how we got the Black Plague. And actually, with this integration right here, that is the final integration. Everything else is at least integrated. Whether or not it's core is a whole different thing. Then we get to start on the whole great Allesianization of the East Coast. Although, we're flipping it over pretty decently. Again, our population, for just passively expanding, is going up very quickly. Ignore the fact that a third of our pops are slaves. But, like, we're all just a bunch of Elysians, and we're having a bunch of kids. That's really funny. So I just got, I just realized something. Nova Iboricum. Iboricum is the name for York in... Oh gosh, somebody told me this back on the Scotland video, and I'm going to get it all wrong. In Old Celtic, Iboricum was the name for York, which means that we are just calling it New York, but in Latin, which is funny. I explained that terribly. Somebody who understands why it's funny that this is called Nova Iboricum, say it in the comments and you'll get pinned or something. Well, here's something I wasn't expecting. Apparently meritocracy also made it over. Somehow? I don't fully know where it spawned in us. Either or, we can embrace meritocracy. In 1410, which honestly isn't that bad for embracing meritocracy. I just have no idea how it got here. And it's going to save us from running out of text, at least for a little bit. Another issue I've noticed is we actually are starting to get a lot of complacency, and I cannot afford to get rid of it. If I put my Diplo spending at a point where I would be diminishing it, no, that's even just holding it, I'm already in the hole. If I max out my Diplo spending, I'm barely pushing it down, and also desperately deep in debt. So we are going to start to fall behind in tech very aggressively until somebody who can rival me shows up, because I just kind of exist uncontested in the New World. I have started minting. I have been looking for gold relentlessly for, I don't know, well, since game start, right? I can't build any of my palace buildings without gold in the market, and the market doesn't have any gold. But I'm minting, which one means I'm consuming gold, and yes! Yes, okay, I wasn't crazy. There is a country down here, and I'm pretty sure their market has gold. Because if I look at them, I can see that there's gold in this market that they're importing. So I just need to conquer that little town, and take it for myself, and make it a beautiful gold province, or make it like a beautiful little thing for shuffling gold north. So where do you have land? How many pops do you have? 18,000? No, you have 295,000. You're a big boy. Yeah, you're Greek and Elysian, and you're Hellenic? Oh, well, welcome to the family. I have no idea how you got there. Were you always there? While we're sitting here exploring, I also just want to go on a bit of rant about this, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but I wouldn't recommend to anyone actually do this run. The mod does everything in its power to make this as interesting as possible. If we look over, they've cheated at some point and given you access to early Age of Discovery techs just so that you can colonize faster. And obviously that's allowed me to do a lot of fun here. But EU5's natives suffer or New World tags in general, suffer the same thing that EU4's native tags suffered, which is after your initial conquest, you're basically just stuck waiting for Europe to show up. Except in EU5, due to how slow the game runs, it's about 10 times worse, and there's even less you can do because there's less extra systems. There's no federation mechanic to play around with. There's the exploration in EU5 overall is worse, just pound for pound compared to EU4. There's no... I really am sitting here just microing economy, which is enjoyable to a point, right? Like, I've made sure that our economy and our market grows and we get what we need to, but also because there's no RNG in the goods generations, if I want gold, I just have to go to where I know there is gold. I can't get lucky and strike gold in the Appalachians. That's why I explored this right down here, because I really didn't know what was in the Appalachian tiles. But I'm basically stuck going down to the Caribbean to get it, which, whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, that's for debate, right? It's an emergent gameplay behavior. But it yeah, this is an interesting run in theory, and I think in like 2 years after decisions are added, and when there's a bit more to do just on the nation level, natives are always going to be a little bit boring. New World nations are always going to be a little bit boring because you're stuck waiting for the Europeans to get over. And by the time they get here, they're not going to be able to stop me from what I can do with them, because I'll just be able to deck on the colonial nations and remove them from the face of the earth, right? I have almost 1.5 million pops, unless I get decimated by the Great Pestilence. But again, I don't know. So yeah, kind of a long ramble there. All in all, this is a fine run. If you really want to do it, go ahead, but I wouldn't recommend it because it's just okay. And if I didn't have the faster Universalis mod, I could not imagine what this would be like. Like, ticking along really slowly. Oof. That would be kind of abysmal. Because, again, the mod has done everything in its power to make you as overpowered as possible. I have nothing but respect for the mod doing that, and I thank it for doing that. But dang, you know? Anyway, we've finally discovered Cladia, so let me rival them and immediately get ready to go to war with them for a humiliate rival. My first war is just going to be stealing maps from them, hopefully. Alright, I have no idea if this is going to go well, but away we go. Humiliate rival on Cladia, because all I care about getting from them is, can I steal maps? Yes, and that's going to save me years and hundreds of ducats. Alright, let's see if they actually let us disembark onto the island. Yes, but there are 5,000 people here. Our assault force is almost certainly going to die, but I think we'll be able to grind them down. Do they have any professionals? Doesn't look like it. Oh, no. Alright, so the first group died, but that's okay. That's why we have 17,000. We can always get more. Who's ready to be meat for the grinder? Alright, the lot of you. Good luck. Oh, we're doing better this time. Oh, wait. Their morale took a massive hit there. We broke a flank. We might actually take the capital. Alrighty. Well, now if everybody's willing to run down here, and if we're able to maintain a blockade, we might actually be able to take the capital. You know, I'm going to see what happens if I put my navy against their navy, just because I really don't know. Technically, we have more ships, but they have much better ships. Clergy, you can suck it up. So let's see how she goes. Oh, my fishing boats are actually doing numbers? Wait, what? Yeah, okay. I think that was expensive. That cost me a galley, but it cost them a galley. So our fishing boats can go toe-to-toe. That's good to know. Alrighty, beautiful. So we were able to take the capital, so we are going to take all of the maps that they have, take over their market center, because this market center supposedly has gold, and all of their money. Okay, so Cicladia is essentially the Caribbean. Understood. Where did that market center go? All the way up to Florida, huh? Wasn't quite betting on that. Anywhere here have gold? Yes! Okay, well, we're setting up a colony in Haiti for gold. Do they have any other gold around here? No? Okay. You know what? Let's just colonize the entire island of Hispaniola. Wow, Cuba is a verdant place to be. We might have to just conquer those guys outright. I'm sorry, they have 100,000 pops in that state? That's insane. And they're all right culture, right religion, so really it's just a matter of burning it down. I also should probably look at, like, the Yucatan and stuff, but I don't even have a city that I could put a local governor in if I wanted to, actually. Hold up. And I haven't built a navy yet. So all this land I'm taking, all this wealth, I'm technically accumulating wealth, but my tax base isn't going up that much because I can't control it that much. Because, again, our capital's up in DC, and my roads don't reach that far. Alrighty, with the fact that I believe we have a trickle, and I do in fact mean just a trickle of gold coming in, I am going to try and build the palace in the capital again. And I think so long as we can just get a little bit, it will happen. I'm gonna also try to turn off minting to see, because maybe minting was consuming it all. And we'll actually be able to build up just a little bit of a reserve. Alright, I've done it. It was an absolute pain in the butt, but we have gold. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful gold. So I just try to get a town set up, basically right next to it, and pump it full of marketplaces, and we should be all set on our great gold shortage. How I'm going to actually get control down to here, I haven't thought that far ahead. Alrighty. Well, you know, as shame as it is, I do have to call it here. I'm out of time for the day. You've heard my critiques and my thoughts earlier on. Do I recommend this? No. Wait for colonialism to get a bit of a rework, or for the mod to give this area specifically a lot of flavor. But I'm glad that it's here, because it goes to show that you can have a time in the New World. And there is some stuff to do with the economic management, but it's just not for me. So what have we actually accomplished? Well, we've basically become the entire Eastern Seaboard, right? Like, we exist from New Brunswick down to Florida into Alabama, as well as we're colonizing Haiti. We have a functioning economy. Our market is only 336 value. Not everything else is built up beautifully, but it does go. Control is by far a limiting factor. Surprise, surprise. But I just could not get enough saved up to really urbanize anything. And that lack of towns in an area I control, with very spread out population. But I think that's my fault, because I was constantly colonizing. And it's a really easy thing to fall into. I see free land, I want to take it, and my pops spread out more. In doing that, though, I have really quick pop growth. You can see, like, 2 million pops in 100 years is a really good amount of pops to grow. But, and I'm sure once we actually stabilize and stop expanding, my pops are going to just spike to a stupid number, because we're growing, even our capital is gaining 1% every year, which is a huge amount of pops. And if I actually built granaries and had cheap food, it would compound even better. So, like, huge snowball potential. I'm just impatient.
What have we actually done? Most of us are Allesian. There's large indigenous minorities, but nothing nothing I can do about that while we have such poor control. Again, similarly for Hellenist, most of it is Hellenic, with large minorities of other faiths. Roads, very loose roads, very poor naval control. The pop map itself, most of it is centered in the capital and like this rough square between New York and North Carolina. But and it's all either integrated or core. I've been trying to convert New Jersey over to being civilized Roman people, but New Jersey, I've been trying to make them Allesian, and it just isn't happening. I don't know exactly why. I have the pop growth and I have the control. It just, they don't seem to flip. So I don't know what I'm running into there. This has been going on for about since the 1400s is when I started that. So, and that's eating up literally all of my cabinet members to do it. So thank you all for your eyes, ears, and time. I have been Brown Dog 2. And I'm signing out.